Okay. Before today's class, I want to address several things. The first thing is about test 2 score. I have sent you guys an email that I have posted the score on your Moodle. You can check the grade book. I think it's a grade, the grade on Moodle. Okay, check the grade on Moodle. Okay, and then you're gonna see see the final grade, including your including your bonus point. That is test 4. As you see in the email, I also mentioned something about the test 2, right? So overall, you guys performed, have done a very good job among the students who have taken the test 2. It's about over 50% of students got at least B in the test 2. Okay, in test 2. There are still some students, unfortunately, didn't do well. I think there are some kind of reason behind that. The first reason because the test 2 is proctored, right? It's a closed book, closed notes. And the second thing probably is you guys, this is your first time to use Proctor, Proctor or Monitor EDU. It's common. You guys didn't do so well, so I decided to give you guys a new policy. I will drop you guys. Excuse me. I will drop you guys the lowest score of test 1, test 2, and test 3. Okay, your lowest score from test 1, test 2, and test 3. Not your final grade. Not your final grade. Okay, make sense? Okay. Now, test 3 is coming. Right, it's around the corner. It's gonna be held 2 weeks after this week. It will be very, very similar to the test 1. I think you guys shouldn't have too much pressure on it because if you see my semester before, you should get more comfortable. Okay, it's very more comfortable because the test 3 format is going to be very, very like test 1. It's not a proctored. Also, it's a open book, open notes, open book, open notes, and I think next week I will assign the review problems, right? And if you can do well the review problems, I think most of you guys should be fine. Should be fine. What else? Yeah. After test 3, we're gonna have Thanksgiving break. Okay. And after Thanksgiving, we're gonna have final exam week, right? So I decided to end this course. Okay, end this course next week. I wish I can finish all the materials. Okay, that's my plan, initial plan. And the last thing I wanted to say, as I mentioned early, for this course, it's not too hard to pass it. As long as you guys come to this class regularly and finish all your homework and the review problems, I think most of you guys should pass it. I would like to say over 95% of students should pass it. Yeah, should pass it very easily. And I also gave you guys a chance, right? I gave you guys the chance to job out, job the lowest score. So that means as long as you work hard, you still have a good chance to get a good score, right? Good score. Yeah. So study hard for the following tests and the final exam. Okay. and you always have a chance in this class. I would like to say to the students who come to the class regularly and finish the homework. For the students who don't come to class regularly, don't do the homework, then I have no other way. Okay, because here is college, it's not a high school. I couldn't force you guys to study. There's no way for me to force you guys to study. You have 100% freedom here. You can choose the way that you want to study. Okay. Okay. So far, any questions? Question? No. Okay. Very good. So I have a question. You don't have a question. What did we learn from last class? Okay, good job. You still remember it. Okay, now let's continue because I wanted to end the class early. So I will do a little bit quickly. So today we're gonna go to the last section, 4.3. And this one will be the toughest one, section in the college algebra. You may not feel comfortable in this section. However, if you dig into it, you should be okay. Okay, it requires a lot of time. It requires a lot of time. Okay, and this section will be the hardest one in this course. Okay. Oh, for the students who have taken test 1, test 2, you already you have got a very good score in both tests. So you have a choice. You can skip test 3 if you want. Okay. So if you sorry, for instance, you have got 90 in both of these tests. So you think you are okay? You can skip the test 3 if you want. If you skip it, you're gonna get 0, and I will drop this test for you. Okay, because I drop your lowest score, right? Does that make sense? You have a choice. However, I encourage you guys to take test 3 because whatever you got is a big chance for you to prepare the final because final is comprehensive. Does that make sense to you guys? Good. Okay, very good. So quadratic. Quadratic. Good. Okay. Here a doesn't equal 0, right? Now my question is, if a equals 0, that is what? What? Is if a equals 0, that should be is this guy, right? What is this type of equation it is? Line equation, right? Or linear function. It's a line equation. Do you still remember what the type of line equation? Is slope intercept form, right? Do you still remember? That's the slope, that's the intercept, right? Make sense? So A doesn't equal 0, otherwise it's not a quadratic function. Okay, make sense? So based on the sign of A, we have two scenarios. The first scenario, A is positive. And the vertex oh, sorry. This down. And the dash line is axis symmetry. Now, the following is the combinations that we learned before. Okay. The first thing is domain. What is the domain for this guy? It's a very interesting. It's a very. I think it's very easy right now, right? We just from left to right. Yeah, right. You move the pen from negative infinity and to positive infinity because the curve always goes up, right? And for the range, is from downside to upside. So move the pen from downside. The first touch is here. So we have f negative b over 2a infinity, and this is included. I wish you guys still remember. I think the hardest thing in this section is the combination of the previous materials that we learned before, right? Such as domain and range. And the following is increasing, decreasing. Now, increasing, decreasing, our strategy is from left to right. We mark down the arrow, right? Mark down the arrow from left to right. So we mark down the down arrow here from left to right, right? And here's up arrow, right? Up arrow. So increasing is about up arrow. So from here to infinity should be and this guy is negative infinity. Okay, that's what we learned from the previous sections, right? So we're gonna combine everything together here. Now, yes, A is less than 0. We have the curve like that. That's the vertex. Okay, and you can see for this case, the curve opens up, right? Opens up. And if A is negative, opens down, okay, opens down. Is the same. And of course, axis of symmetry. And the axis of symmetry is this dash line, okay, this is dash line. So now domain. from left to right is the same. You see, domain should be the same from left to right. Range from downside to upside. Move the pen from downside to upside. So from negative infinity to right. So you can see here. And increasing, you mark down the arrow from left to right, right? So this part is increasing, decreasing. Okay, so that's the property of quadratic equation, okay, or quadratic function. As we can see, the hardest part is about what combination, all the properties that we learned before, such as domain range and increasing, decreasing. No, we put everything here. And I wish you guys still remember these parts. If you don't remember, go back to your older notes. Okay, go back to and read all the examples that we learned from previous classes. Okay. So the first example here. Fx x plus 5. Find the vertex and axis of symmetry. So the first part is what? In order to find the vertex and the axis of symmetry, we need to go back to the formula. So formula for the vertex of symmetry is this guy, right? Is this guy actually, right? Vertex. So typically it's this function or this formula, negative b over 2i to a, right? So we just needed to write down the ABC. A, B, C, right? Just like you guys solve the quadratic equation, right? Write down the ABC, gonna be your first step. Second step, plug in. Right? The formula here, right? The formula here. Plug in. 3 times 2, right? And the y coordinate is this guy, right? So the y coordinate is this guy. Plug in y equals x equals -2. So replace the x by -2, right? Okay. Do we get what vertex is -2, -3, and the axis This is got x equals -2, right? Follow the formula here, right? Follow the formula here. Any questions? Okay, now now we need to find the domain and range. Problem B. So here I would I would like to draw a draft graph. Let's take a look. A is 2, so that means it's positive, right? So I have a question: Is the curve opens? Does the curve open up or open down? Up, right? Because that is positive, right? Positive, that means open up. So we can draw a draft graph like that, because A equals 2 is greater than 0, right? Now you can find vertex is -2, 3. Like here's a -2, here's a -3, right? So domain should be very easy from -infinity to infinity, right? You can copy it for quadratic function. Domain is very easy. And for the range, you can use the pen, right? Move from downside to upside. So first touch at this point, right? So it's from -3 to infinity. Just like this one, right? Just like this one, from here to infinity. Or you can use a pen to do it. The first touch is here, and then go to infinity. Increasing, decreasing. Then you mark down the arrow, right? Down arrow, up arrow, right? So up arrow is here. And the decreasing is down arrow. Just like this one, right? So here is -b over to a is -2, right? -2. Oh, this is a C. Whatever. You find all of them. Now, I gave you guys an example. Let you guys try it, okay? Find everything: vertex, axis of symmetry, domain range, increasing, decreasing, everything. What are the steps? When you first time solve this conference, write down the ABC, then plug in the formula, right? Okay. Now let me write down the answer on board. A, B, C, right? Formula. Plug in the formula is 1, right? And this guy will be F1, right? F1. Plug in. That's 1. It's 4, right? It's 4. So vertex 1, 2, 4. Axis of symmetry. All right. Now, draw the graph. So the curve opens up or opens down, right? And okay, domain should be the same, right? It's always from negative infinity to infinity. Domain should be very straightforward. Range from downside to upside, right? From negative infinity until we stop here, right? Increasing, decreasing, mark down the arrow. Right? From left to right. So should be like that. Okay. Make sense? Now, let you guys try the last example, okay? I wish this time everybody can make it. Try again, okay? Okay, I think the most of you guys should get A, B, C. Two. Negative B over 2A. So we have B is -2, right? A is 1. So it's 1. For the coordinate, the vertex should be very easy. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry should be x equals 1, right? X equals 1. Be careful, guys. Axis of symmetry is a what? Is a dash lines. It's a line equation. So you should write down x equals 1. Okay. It is not a value. A value means 1. 1 is a value. X equals 1, that is a line equation. Okay. Or we can say this is a line, vertical line. Okay, vertical line. Now let's figure out the domain and the range. Okay, domain and the range. Previously, the vertex is 1, -4. Curve opens up, right? Because A is greater than 0. Right? So domain, just memorize it. Domain always from -infinity to infinity, okay? Domain will not change, okay? And then for the range, from downside to upside. So the first touch at this point, right? And for infinity. Increasing, decreasing, mark down the arrow from left to right, right? From left to right. Down arrow, up arrow. Increasing is from 1 to infinity. Decreasing, this part, right? -infinity to 1. That's it, right? Make sense? So as long as you know the property, you can quickly write down the answer. Okay, and this draft graph is a key step, right? It's a key step. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you want one more example or move on? You don't want it. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna introduce the x-intercept or y-intercept for the quadratic function. For the x-intercept, we have 3 scenarios. The x-intercept of a quadratic function fx three scenarios. The first one, if b squared minus 4ac fx has 2 intercepts. if b squared minus 4ac equals 0 has one intercept. If less than 0, if x has no intercept. Now, what does that mean? Let's take a look. The first scenario, we can draw the picture, okay? If a is greater than 0, right? The curve opens up. Okay, opens up, and we have two intercepts. And in this case, should be this guy. If a less than 0, curve should be opens down. Okay, and we have two intercepts. And for these two cases, we have the b squared subtracted for ac greater than 0. Okay, now, second case. Still, for a greater than 0, we have one intercept. So this is here. And this guy is the vertex, right? That's a vertex. We have only one, right? And this vertex is also equals negative b over 2a because it's because it's a vertex, right? And this for a equals 0. For this guy, corresponding to this case, if this guy is run down this here. Okay. Now, if a less than 0, should like that, and also this is a 1, and the 1 intercept. Okay. Now the third case, b squared minus 4ac less than 0. Should be like that. No intercept. This is a greater than 0. Like that. Okay. So we can see, right? We can see it very clearly from the graph. Now, if I give you a function, how to find the intercepts, then graph it. Okay. Find the x-intercept for and graph it. Find the x-intercept. Okay, so for this case, what we're gonna do is follow the rules. So previously, if you have the memory, how do you find the x-intercepts?
0.
When x equals 0 or y equals 0? Y equals 0, we solve it, right? The same structure. We let y equals 0, right? To find the x-intercept. So x-intercept, we just let y equals 0, right? Like that's our strategy, right? To find the x-intercept. Now, y equals 0, that means this guy equals 0, right? This guy equals 0. Now, how to solve it? How to solve this equation?
Did that negative very
Quadratic formula, right? Do you still remember? So that's the reason when we first time learned the quadratic formula, that's the most important formula in the course. So you have to memorize it. You have to memorize it. Yeah, because everything behind this formula, I mean everything later in later course, in later class, we will use this quadratic formula again and again. Okay, so you have to memorize it. So we have A, B, C. Do you still remember? And first step, E square minus 4AC. Right? E square minus 4AC. Plug in. 36 subtract 12 equals 4. Oh, 24, right? Let me check. Oh, this is a plus. Negative, negative, plus. So it's 48. That is positive. That means what? Two intercept, two roots, right? Two roots. Or two solutions, right? Make sense? Two intercept, that's correct. Yeah, in the previous quadratic equation, that means we have two solutions, right? Or two roots, okay? So we're gonna plug in. B is -3. 48, you can simplify it. We have two pairs. Two pairs. We pick one, two twos, right? We pick up two twos. 1, 2, 2, 2. It should be 4. Square root of the left one is 3. Okay, you also can simplify it because later we're gonna graph it. A this guy roughly equal. Okay, use your calculator, you will find that this guy is negative. And for the y-intercept, we just let x equals 0, right? X equals 0, we plug in, right? F0 we can easily get a one, right? Y-intercept is a very, very straightforward. Okay, we found the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and how to graph it. How to graph it. The strategy, if we wanted to graph it, we need 3 points. At least one vertex plus 2 intercepts. Okay. We need 3 points, one vertex plus 2 intercepts. Okay, 2 intercepts. Here we don't know the vertex. Okay, we don't know the vertex, so we will evaluate the vertex. So we're gonna follow the vertex formula. Is negative b over 2a. B is 6. A is -3. That is 1. Now plug in the F1. Right. Replace the x by 1. So the vertex is 1, 4. Now we can graph it. We can use these 2 intercepts and a plus 1 vertex. We have 3 points. Okay, we have 3 points. So let's take a look at how to graph it. Is 1, 4. Okay, the vertex is here. Now plus 2 intercepts, x in the 2.15. To be here. And the second one is negative. This guy is 2. Right. So 3 point 1, 2, 3. We draw the graph. We draw the right. We draw the graph. We draw the graph. Does that make sense? So 2 x-intercepts plus 1 vertex. That's enough for you to draw the graph. Draw the graph. And here, how to find the domain and range? Domain should be the same, negative infinity to infinity, right? And the range from downside to upside. The highest point is here, right? So, and increasing, draw the arrow, right? Draw the arrow. From negative infinity to 1, decreasing from 1 to infinity. That's it. Okay, that's the third problem we can see. Okay, so I don't have too much time left. Before you leave, please sign your initial, okay?